Pollution is the introduction of harmful materials into the environment. These harmful materials are called pollutants. Pollutants can be natural, such as volcanic ash. They can also be created by human activities, such as trash, runoff produced by factories. Pollutant can damage quality of air, water, and land. There are different types of pollutants. So I will give you a picture of the different type of pollutions, such as water pollutions, air pollutions, leather pollutions, plastic pollutions, soil pollutions, thermal pollutions, noise pollutions, and last at the least, radioactive contaminations. That is the type of pollutions. So, here's the first report. Carl, John, Zoilo, are you there?
Thanks, Kihano. Water pollution is the contamination of water bodies, usually as a result of human activities. So we people usually do this activity that can affect us negatively. Example, people that are throwing their garbage on our water bodies. It causes water pollution and also air pollution because of the smell of the garbage. Water bodies includes lakes, rivers, oceans, aquifers, reservoirs, and groundwater. Other example of water pollution is fuel spillage and factories that dumping their garbage on our water bodies. Just like this picture, it shows us the major example in water pollution. Because of this, it can harm the fish and the species living in the ocean and can also affect us people by catching and eating those fish. Because when water gets polluted, it adversely affects all life forms that directly or indirectly depend on this source. So it means it can affect us all. So we need to discipline ourselves in order to protect our water bodies. Because to us, water is one of our very common needs every day as a human being. For me, cleaner water is a cleaner tomorrow. Carl dyan nakatutok, back to you, Kihano.
Thank you, Zoilo. So that's all about of water pollution. So let's proceed to the next reporter. Julieta, are you there?
Thank you, Kihano. Air pollution is one of the main environmental issues nowadays. Increasing concentration of the harmful and toxic materials in the fresh air in the atmosphere is causing air pollution. There are two types of air pollution sources, which are natural sources and man-made sources. Some natural sources of air pollution, such as volcanic eruptions, dust, storm, forest fires, and cosmic particles. Man-made sources of air pollution are industrial, power plants, and domestic sources. The ever-increasing level of air pollution also enhance negative and harmful effects to the health of living beings. Air pollution is causing global warming to increase because of increasing atmospheric temperature due to the increasing level of greenhouse gases, such as greenhouse gases, again causing greenhouse effect and forcing sea levels to the increased glaciers to melt and weather to change, increasing air population and causing many lethal diseases like cancer, heart attack, asthma, and kidney disease. Increasing level of harmful gases in the environment are causing the occurrence of acid rain and depleting the ozone layer. To get together, if for the human being all over the world need help in controlling the level of harm population. The government of India has Act of Law the Air Prevention and Control of Population Act 1981. Chief Jan Nakatuto. Back to you, Kihano.
So that's all about air pollution. Thank you, Julieta. So let's proceed to the next reporter. Pascual, are you there?
Thank you, Keanu. Light pollution. Light pollution is a side effect of industrial civilization. Its sources include building exterior and interior lighting, advertising outdoor area lighting such as car parks, offices, factories, street lights, and illuminated sporting venue. It is most severe in highly industrialized, densely populated areas of North America, Europe, and Asia, and in major cities in the Middle East and North Africa. But even relatively small amounts of light can be noticed and create problems. Awareness of the deleterious effect of light pollution began in the second half of the 19th century, but efforts to address effects did not begin until the 1950s. In the 1980s, a global dark sky movement emerged with the founding of the IDA, or International Dark Sky Association. There are now such educational and advocacy organizations in many countries worldwide. Effects of light pollution. In disrupting ecosystem, light pollution possesses serious threat, in particular nocturnal wildlife. Having negative impacts on plant and animal physiology, it confuses the migratory patterns of animals, alter competitive interactions of animals, change predator-prey relations, and cause physiological harm. The rhythm of life is orchestrated by the natural diurnal pattern of light and dark. So disruption of these patterns impact the ecological dynamics. The good news is that light pollution can be reduced fairly easily by shielding lights properly, by only using light when and where it is needed, by only using the amount that is needed, by using energy efficient bulbs, and by using bulbs with appropriate spectral power distributions for the task at hand. Clinically speaking, three main types of light pollution include glare, light trespass, and sky glow. In addition to over-illumination and clutter, glare from unshielding light is a public health hazard, especially the older you become. Glare light scattering in the eye causes loss of contrast, sometimes blinds you temporarily, and leads to unsafe driving conditions. For instance, light trespass occurs when unwanted light enters one property. For example, by shining unwanted light into bedroom window of a person trying to sleep. Sky glow refers to the glow effect that can be seen over populated areas. Sky glow is the combination of all the reflected light and upward directed, unshielded light, and escaping up into the sky, and for the most part, unused, shielding lights significantly reduces all three types of light pollution. That's all. Thank you, Keanu. Back to you.
Thank you, Pascual. So that's all about light pollution. So let's proceed to the next reporter. Jewel Sasik, are you there?
Thank you, Keanu. Littering is the one of our problem nowadays because of waste products that have been discarded incorrectly, without consent and unsuitable location, such as dropping and leaving their waste like aluminum cans, paper cups, food wrappers, cardboard and boxes, plastic bottles on the ground that may lead to air pollution. Being responsible of humans by their waste leads to a serious environmental problem. In many countries, litter can exist in the environment for the long periods of time before decomposition to be transported over large distance into the world ocean. One of the reasons that people litter due to lack of public garbage bins or overflowing bins that do not get emptied regularly, and if we cannot take this action of this problem, it can affect the quality of life. I'm Joel Sasing Jr. Thank you, Keanu.
Thank you, Jewel. So that's all about litter pollution. So let's proceed to the next reporter. Tampos?
Plastic pollution. Plastic waste or plastic pollution is the accumulation of plastic objects like plastic bottles and much more in the Earth's environment that adversely affects wildlife habitat, and humans. The 3/4 that isn't recycled enters our environment, polluting our oceans and causing damage to our ecosystem. In less developed countries, the majority of plastic waste eventually ends up in the ocean, meaning that marine animals are especially at risk. So much of what we consume is made of plastic, such as plastic bottles and food containers, because it's expensive yet durable. However, plastic is slow to degrade, taking over 400 years or more due to its chemical structure, which presents a huge challenge. Reducing plastic consumption and raising awareness about plastic and recycling is crucial. So, the plastic pollution, it is the different types of waste from different places that accumulate over time, which will affect our way of life and especially animals and the destruction of their habitat. An example of this is Manila Bay. We know that Manila Bay is one of the most polluted oceans with a lot of garbage because of the squatters who live near it, and there is no proper waste segregation, and that it will affect the ocean, the water resources, and the sea animals living here. Another thing is that the people who live near it cause a bad effect, especially to children. Carl John Ray Tampos, Nakatuto.
Naglalag ata si Tampos, so thank you Tampos. So that's all about plastic pollution. So let's proceed to another reporter, Ropenta.
Thank you, Quijano. Soil contamination, soil pollution, or land pollution as a part of land degradation is caused by the presence of xenobiotic or human-made chemicals or other alternation in the natural soil environment. It is typically caused by industrial activity, agricultural chemicals, or improper disposal of waste. Soil contamination is human-made. It is human-made because it is caused by industrial activity. The waste and chemicals are thrown everywhere. I show you some picture about soil contamination. This is Dan Luis C. Ropenta, Nakatutok. Back to you, Quijano.
Thank you, Ropenta. That is soil contamination or soil pollution. So let's proceed to the next reporter again. John Sasi.
Thank you, Quijano. Thermal pollution. Thermal pollution, sometimes called thermal enrichment, is the degradation of water quality by any process that changes ambient water temperature. Thermal pollution is the rise or fall in the temperature of natural body of water caused by a human influence. A common cause of thermal pollution is the use of water as coolant by power plants in industrial manufacture. We encounter thermal pollution if the manufacturer uses water for cooling, and it affects our marine life because chemicals have a toxic effect on animals and plants from fatal poisoning. For example, soil erosion is another major factor that causes thermal pollution. consistent soil erosion causes water bodies to rise, making them more exposed to sunlight. And the second example is deforestation. Trees and plants prevent sunlight from falling directly on lakes, ponds, or rivers. When deforestation takes place, these water bodies are directly exposed to sunlight, thus absorbing more heat and rising their temperature. Johnny Sassing, nakatuto. Back to you, Quijano.
Thank you, John Sassing. So that's all about thermal pollution. Next, going to the noise pollution. Rebecca's, are you there?
Thank you, Quijano. Noise pollution, also known as environmental noise or sound pollution, is the propagation of noise with wrong impacts on the activity of human or animal life. Most of them are harmful to a degree. The source of outdoor noise worldwide is mainly caused by machines, transport, and propagation systems. Poor urban planning may give rise to noise disintegration or pollution. Side-by-side industrial and residential buildings can result in noise pollution in the residential areas. Some of the main sources of noise in residential areas include loud music, transportation, traffic, rail, airplanes, etc. long-term maintenance, construction, electrical generators, wind turbines, explosions, and people. What I understand about noise pollution. Noise pollution, unwanted or excessive sound that can have deleterious effects on human health, wildlife, and environmental quality. Noise pollution is commonly generated inside many industrial facilities and some other workplaces, but it also comes from highway, railway, and urban traffic and from outdoor construction activities. I'll show you some pictures of noise pollution. This is Jeric Nel Rebucas. Nakatuto. Back to you, Quijano.
Thank you, Rebucas, for reporting noise pollution. Next reporter, Salopre.
Thank you, Quijano. So radioactive or the radioactive materials are usually those of industrial waste such as hazardous waste. As a result of many activities including nuclear medicine, nuclear research, nuclear power generation, rare earth mining, and nuclear weapons reprocessing. Now, as we mentioned example like nuclear weapons, we know for a fact that making such substances denotes usage of radioactive elements, which is really dangerous when it is not properly handled or disposed improperly. When it is released into the environment, it can greatly cause air, water, surface, soil, plants, buildings, people or animals to become contaminated, which is really bad for the wellness of all living organisms present in our environment. So, how can we prevent contamination in radioactive materials? Keep people away from it to reduce their exposure to radiation. Keep cuts and abrasions covered when handling contaminated items to avoid getting radioactive materials in them. Wash off all the exposed parts of your body using lots of soap and lukewarm water to remove contamination. Thank you. This is John Melky Salobre reporting. Back to you, Quijano.
Thank you, Salopre, for reporting radioactive contamination. So that's all type of pollution. Thank you for watching this video. This is Gerald C. Quijano, nakatuto. Bye-bye!